The mood around Ibrox right now feels charged with intent, as if everyone connected to Rangers understands that this season carries a weight that goes far beyond a normal title race. January has arrived, and instead of caution or hesitation, there is a clear sense of acceleration. Decisions are being made with conviction, and the message coming from inside the club is that this is not a window for half measures. Rangers are acting like a side that knows exactly what is at stake and is prepared to push every available lever to get there. Winning the league is always the ultimate prize, but this time the consequences stretch even further. The opportunity to secure direct access to the Champions League phase represents not only prestige, but stability, growth, and long-term leverage. That reality has sharpened the focus at boardroom level, and it is filtering straight down to the recruitment strategy. There is an understanding that this path may not always be available in future seasons, which is why the urgency feels different, heavier, more deliberate. This is a moment Rangers do not want to let slip. That urgency is reflected in the type of players being targeted. The club has already moved early to bring in a young forward with raw tools and clear upside, a signal that Rangers are not simply thinking about depth, but about evolution. The emphasis is on players who can contribute immediately while still carrying room to grow, players who can raise the level now and potentially become even more valuable with time. It is a balancing act, but one that fits the broader vision being pursued. Attention has now turned to the wide areas where Rangers have been scanning the European market with increasing confidence. One name attracting strong interest is a young Hungarian winger making waves in Slovakia. At just 22 years of age, he has already shown an ability to influence matches consistently, combining pace, directness, and an eye for goal. 7 goals in 14 league appearances is not something that goes unnoticed, especially when those numbers are backed up by performances that show intelligence and composure rather than reckless flair. What makes this profile particularly intriguing is the way he plays the game. A left-footed winger operating on the right side brings a different dynamic, opening angles that can unsettle defenders and create space for runners around him. Rangers do not currently have many options of that exact profile, which adds to the appeal. It is also telling that several well-regarded European clubs are monitoring the same player. When teams with strong development models circle the same target, it often says as much about potential as it does about current output. From a player's perspective, Rangers remain an attractive destination. Performing well in Glasgow places you under a spotlight that reaches far beyond Scotland. Strong European nights, relentless domestic pressure, and a demanding support can accelerate development in ways few leagues can replicate. For a young winger with ambition, the platform is obvious. Do well here and doors open. That reality has not changed, and it continues to work in Rangers' favour when competing with clubs of a similar level. There is also a visible pattern emerging across multiple targets. The age bracket is consistent, the ceiling is high, and the expectation is contribution rather than adaptation. Rangers are not shopping for projects that need seasons of patience. They are identifying players who are ready for the here and now, while still offering the possibility of becoming something more. It is a smarter, more calculated approach that suggests lessons have been learned from previous windows. Alongside that pursuit, movement continues on another front, with an experienced winger currently seeking a fresh start. Talks have progressed around a loan deal that could see a proven European performer arrive in Glasgow, a player who has already shown his quality at a high level but has found opportunities limited recently. His absence from recent matchday squads has only added to the sense that a move is imminent, and Rangers appear keen to take advantage of that situation. The structure of such deals always brings debate. Loans can provide instant quality, but they also carry risk and uncertainty. Rangers supporters have seen both sides of that equation in recent seasons. When it works, it can transform a campaign. When it does not, it can leave questions about continuity and long-term planning. The hope internally is that any agreement struck allows for more than a short-term fix, especially if the player rediscovers his best form and becomes central to the title push. Behind the scenes, other deals continue to move quietly. Medicals, final negotiations, and paperwork are all part of the process, and there is a sense that announcements could arrive quickly. That feeling of momentum is important. Each addition not only strengthens the squad, but reinforces belief within the dressing room that the club is fully committed to the objective ahead. On the outgoing side, loans are being used strategically to aid development. Young players need minutes, responsibility, and exposure to different pressures, and temporary moves within Scotland can provide exactly that. It is a practical step ensuring talent continues to progress rather than stagnate on the fringes. These decisions may not grab headlines, but they matter when shaping the future core of the squad. Away from transfers, there has also been a darker moment that has reminded everyone of the deep emotions tied to this club. Recent actions by opposing supporters have reopened old wounds connected to one of the most painful chapters in Rangers history. The reaction from within Ibrox has been firm and uncompromising, reflecting the belief that some lines should never be crossed, regardless of rivalry or result. The tragedy referenced remains a source of lasting grief for families, survivors, and the wider Rangers community. It is not history in the abstract, but lived memory, passed down and honoured with dignity. When that memory is mocked, it cuts deeply, and the club's response has made clear that such behaviour will not be brushed aside or treated lightly. There is now an expectation that the appropriate authorities address the situation with seriousness and clarity. Accountability matters not only as a response to this incident, but as a message about respect within the game. For Rangers, protecting the memory of those lost is non-negotiable, and that stance is shared widely among the support. All of this unfolds against the backdrop of a season that feels pivotal. On the pitch, the margins are tight and the demands relentless. Off it, decisions made now will echo well beyond the final whistle of the campaign. The sense around Rangers is that everything is being aligned toward one objective, with recruitment, strategy, and resolve pulling in the same direction, and that intensity is only growing as the weeks pass. As the season continues to unfold, the pressure surrounding every fixture only intensifies, and that reality is shaping how Rangers approach both preparation and squad management. There is no room for complacency when the margins at the top are so fine and every drop point feels magnified inside the club. The understanding is clear that consistency, not just moments of brilliance, will define whether this campaign ends in success or frustration. What stands out most is the sense that Rangers are no longer reacting to circumstances, but actively trying to control them. The recruitment drive is part of that, but so is the way the squad is being managed week to week. Rotation has become more deliberate, injuries are being handled with caution rather than desperation, and there is a noticeable effort to keep key players fresh for the decisive stretch of the season. These details matter, especially when the schedule begins to compress and the physical demands increase. The players themselves appear to be responding to that clarity. Performances have carried a sharper edge, with more intensity in duels and a stronger collective discipline without the ball. Rangers have looked like a team that understands its identity, pressing with purpose rather than emotion and showing patience when games become scrappy. That maturity is often what separates champions from contenders, and it has been growing steadily within this group. In attack, the balance between control and directness has improved. Rangers are not forcing the issue at every opportunity, but they are far more ruthless when spaces open up. Wide players are being encouraged to take responsibility, to commit defenders and create moments rather than recycling possession endlessly. That willingness to be brave on the ball has stretched opponents and created chances that simply were not there earlier in the campaign. Midfield has quietly become the engine of that evolution. The combination of energy, positional awareness, and ball retention has allowed Rangers to dictate tempo in key spells of matches. When control is established early, the entire side looks calmer, more assured, and harder to break down. That platform is essential, especially in tight away fixtures where momentum can swing quickly if composure is lost. Defensively, there is a growing resilience that has been forged through experience rather than comfort. Rangers have faced periods of sustained pressure in recent weeks, and the response has been measured rather than frantic. Lines have stayed compact, communication has improved, and there is a clear understanding of when to step out and when to hold shape. Those moments of collective focus often go unnoticed, but they are fundamental in title races. The atmosphere at Ibrox continues to play its role as well. European nights have already shown the power of the stadium when belief and urgency align, and domestically, the same energy is beginning to build. Players speak often about the lift they feel at home, but there is also an awareness that expectations are high. The support demands commitment, effort, and accountability, and the squad knows that those standards cannot slip. Away from home, Rangers are learning to manage hostile environments with greater composure. Difficult pitches, tight refereeing, and emotionally charged crowds are part of the landscape, particularly in Scotland. The ability to remain focused amid that noise is improving, and results are starting to reflect that growth. Grinding out wins even when fluency is missing sends a powerful message to rivals and reinforces belief internally. The psychological side of the title race cannot be ignored. Confidence builds not just from results, but from the manner in which they are achieved. When Rangers win ugly, defend leads under pressure, or respond immediately after setbacks, it adds layers of belief. Those experiences accumulate, shaping a mindset that can withstand the inevitable twists of the season. At the same time, there is an acceptance that challenges will come. Injuries, suspensions, and dips in form are unavoidable across a long campaign. What matters is the response. The depth being assembled now is designed to soften those blows, ensuring that standards remain high regardless of who steps into the starting 11. Competition for places is increasing, and that tension is healthy when managed correctly. The younger players around the squad are also benefiting from this environment. Training alongside experienced professionals in a high-stakes season accelerates development in ways that cannot be replicated elsewhere. Learning how to prepare for pressure matches, how to recover after setbacks, and how to maintain focus week after week are lessons that shape careers. Rangers are consciously creating those learning moments rather than shielding players from them. Financial considerations continue to loom in the background, even if they are not discussed openly. Success on the pitch opens doors off it, and everyone understands that the rewards tied to European qualification could redefine the club's trajectory. That awareness adds another layer of motivation, not just for executives, but for players who want to test themselves at the highest level. The link between domestic dominance and continental opportunity has never felt more direct. Despite all of this, there remains a strong emphasis on staying grounded. Inside the training ground, the message is about the next match, the next session, the next decision. Looking too far ahead risks losing focus, and Rangers are determined not to let anticipation turn into distraction. That discipline has been hard-earned through previous campaigns where promise did not always translate into silverware. Rivalries as ever add spice to the journey. Every result elsewhere is analysed, every drop point debated, but Rangers are trying to keep their gaze inward. Control what can be controlled, ignore what cannot, and trust the process being built. That approach does not guarantee success, but it gives the best possible chance in a race where emotions can easily take over. As weeks turn into months, the story of this season continues to gather momentum. Each match adds another chapter, each decision another layer of consequence. For Rangers, the path ahead is demanding, unforgiving, and filled with expectation, but there is a growing sense that the club is embracing that reality rather than fearing it. The intensity is rising, the focus is sharpening, and everything now revolves around sustaining that edge as the campaign moves deeper into its decisive phase. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers have started to swirl around Ibrox, and they're getting louder by the hour. The word doing the rounds in the city is that Rangers are casting an admiring eye towards Kenny McLean, with talk suggesting the club could be lining him up as the man to take control of the midfield in a way supporters have been craving. Nothing is signed, nothing is sealed, but the very idea has sparked a fair bit of buzz because few saw this one coming. It's being framed as a potential masterstroke, a move that would blend experience, intelligence, and a proper understanding of the Scottish game. Those close to the club say McLean's name has been mentioned more than once in recent conversations, always with the same tone, quiet excitement mixed with disbelief. He's long been known as a player who reads the game well, keeps the ball moving, and doesn't shy away from responsibility. In a Rangers side looking for someone to set the tempo, knit play together, and bring a bit of calm when things get frantic, his profile fits almost too neatly. That's why some are calling it a total surprise, while others are starting to wonder if it makes perfect sense. There's also the feeling that this wouldn't just be another signing, but a statement of intent. Bringing in a Scottish international, battle-hardened and tactically sharp, could signal a shift towards control and composure in the middle of the park. The gaffer is said to admire players who think first and run second, and McLean ticks that box. Whether it's true or just clever smoke and mirrors, the rumour alone has given supporters plenty to talk about on the streets and in the pubs. For now, it remains speculation, the kind that thrives on raised eyebrows and knowing nods. But if Rangers really are plotting a move for Kenny McLean, it could be one of those transfers that sneaks up on everyone and ends up redefining how the team plays. Until anything is confirmed, it's all just talk. But in football, sometimes talk is where the biggest stories begin. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel too, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.